The sweep completed in Central Florida as the Hawks blow out the Magic here in Orlando. And if nothing else, hold on to the fifth spot in the Eastern Conference, pending results tonight around the NBA. Welcome in. It's Hawks Live, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas on the floor at Kia Center. Matt Weiner and Madison Hawk. The Hawks blew this game open in the second quarter after a little bit of a rocky start. With the Magic, you kind of have to withstand a couple of punches from them, nearly literally at times, because they played such a physical brand of basketball. That's by design. They did that. They came back. Nickeil Alexander-Walker went nuts in the second quarter. They scored 47 in that quarter, and the game was essentially over at that point.
Well, a reminder what happened last year when Orlando took out two Hawks players with Larry Nance Jr. and one other. So, yeah, there was a little revenge in this game whenever it started to get physical. I love that Dyson jumped in there and was defending his teammates. I loved that out of Dyson, and that's something that we don't always see him getting worked up like that. So, loved the physicality. Loved that the Hawks brought it, and I loved how consistent they were. After those foul troubles early on in the first quarter, they answered the call. You mentioned it. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he put on a show, and it started getting going for him in the second quarter. He got in that early foul trouble, but he responded so well.
And you couldn't hear the post-game interview, but he said specifically, they talk a lot.
Yeah, they do talk a lot.
And that kind of got him going in the second quarter. I don't even know if they talk a lot. Desmond Bane talks a lot. The others are kind of with him there.
I don't know. I'd say they.
Desmond Bane definitely talks a lot. Anyway, it got Nickeil Alexander going. Ford Key, points off turnovers, though we could have chosen a number of different categories. We're going with this one.
Yeah, I love it because I think this was the difference maker in the second quarter. Once the Hawks started to get stops, they were able to get out in transition and play the way that they want to. 18 turnovers for Atlanta, and the Hawks executed 22 points off of the Magic's mistakes. They were able to get stops, turn it into offense, play with pace, and all guys were involved in this as well, which I love that every player was active on the defensive end. We talked about Nickeil Alexander-Walker and the complete game that he played. He had 2 steals on the game as well. So every player active defensively. And what that tells me is that they didn't shy away once they got in foul trouble. Sometimes you can think, okay, I'm in foul trouble. I can't be as aggressive. They did just the opposite. They kept coming to them knowing that the game was going to switch. It was going to balance out after those 8 fouls in the first quarter, and it did. It evened out, but I loved just how aggressive they were in transition in this game.
So much of the Magic offensive philosophy seems to be throw big bodies into defenders and hope for foul calls, which is a big part of why they lead the league in free throw attempts. And they did take 4 more, but inconsequential ultimately. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, unbelievable March. This was a different level of intensity for him. It wasn't just the shot making. It was kind of the force with which he played in that second quarter.
Yeah, the shot making and the decision making as well. He used those early fouls that he got, those 2 quick fouls, just to ignite him. He was even more aggressive and full court on the defensive end, scoring at the rim, putting defensive players in blenders, and just looks like he's having a ball right now playing this game. And that's exactly what Nickeil has told me over the stretch of the month of March now into April, is that he's just playing peaceful basketball. Quinn Snyder described it as joyful basketball, and I think that was evident out on the court tonight for Nickeil.
So good in that game, and for the last 2 games against the Magic, 73 over those 2.
Wow.
And 4-0 is the final season series for the Hawks. So not only do they have the tiebreaker against the Magic, they're now, I believe, 3.5 up on Orlando, virtually eliminated the Magic as a threat in terms of overtaking the Hawks in the seedings. We'll check the rest of the standings a little later on. Hawks shoot 51%. They held this, frankly, difficult to watch Orlando offense, which just doesn't create a lot of easy shots, under 40% for the game. And it was a dominant performance.
Yeah, there was a streak where Orlando went 0 for 19 from 3. That streak ended in the third quarter at 6:34 when Desmond Bane hit a 3. But to be able to hold a team 0 for 19, a streak like that. You mentioned it. They don't shoot the ball really well from three. That's not necessarily what Orlando wants to do. So I think it was a great defensive game plan to take away the lane and make them shoot threes. Atlanta knew what they were doing when they were scouting this Orlando team. You take away the paint, you make them shoot threes, and then they went 0 for 19 for a stretch.
Plenty of heroes aside from Alexander Walker. Let's highlight Onyeka Okongwu, who finished with 16, 7, 4, a couple of steals, and 2 blocks.
Yeah, you mentioned those couple of steals. He had 3 steals against Boston on Monday, playing complete basketball right now. His 7 rebounds came at big-time moments as well when the Hawks really needed it. I thought the Hawks did a great job on the glass tonight, especially in second chance points, limiting Paolo Banchero and the rest of Orlando getting hot in that way. And Onyeka was a huge reason why. Just his presence in the paint and his presence on the glass. He's playing good basketball right now, and you love to see it.
And the defensive effort, again, very solid. Orlando's not a great offense in the half court. Banchero had as many turnovers as he had made buckets tonight, 3 of each. And Franz Wagner, again, on limited minutes, was okay at times, but didn't really make an impact. Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Put it in a blender.
Just playing games with defenders out there. What a night for him. And the Hawks win it by 29. The Hawks are soaring 18-3 since the All-Star break. They win this one by 29. Time to hear from the head coach, Quinn Snyder, in the Georgia Natural Gas post-game press conference.
Yeah, I think, early in the game, we were, as much as anything, we were fouling. And I didn't, the first time out, we talked about just more. And got to do more in every area of the game. And our guys responded, and they did. They raised their level. And, when we settled in defensively and were able to get stops, I think we did a pretty good job converting. And that's the challenge for us is, just to stay in character.
I was going to say, what do you feel like in terms of raising their raising to the challenge of defending at the intensity that they did, holding them to, I think it was 26 points, while limiting the fouls?
Yeah, I think, we had a few situations where we didn't get hits on the glass. They gave them second shots, some breakdowns. But for the most part, once we just were more disciplined on the ball and also off the ball, I think, and took some of those driving lanes away and tried to keep him out of the paint. And then by the same token, when we got out, we were able to get in the paint and get some good looks. And Nickeil obviously got hot, but he was getting good shots. Guys were finding him. So I thought JJ did a really good job after the first time out of really raising his level as well. And the things that he's doing on the offensive end, he's setting other people up. But on the defensive end tonight, I think the job that he did on Banchero was really good. And by the same token, when he did attack, when he didn't get all the way, he was able to make really good reads and make plays for other people.
And in terms of Dyson just continuing to sort of attack the glass, especially with some of the size that they have down low, just how much does that open things up for you?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to get more people going, more frequently. I think that's an area that, hopefully we can, keep getting better there. But he certainly sets the example with that. And, some of it too, you don't have to secure a rebound if you can prevent them from getting it. And we had some loose ball rebounds on both ends of the floor. And Dyson gets his hands on a lot of balls. He's just got a nose for it, whether it's on the glass or, during play when he's guarding the ball or off the ball. And something that, he's got great instincts. Okay. All right.
That was 13 rebounds from Dyson Daniels tonight, 6 on the offensive end. As we check the standings in the East, Hawks remain 5th. Here's what's happening right now. Toronto is trailing at home to the Sacramento Kings. I gotta think they'll turn that around. Meanwhile, Philly won tonight. They put up like 1,000 points, and that's an estimate.
I was gonna say,
and
1,000.
Miami is trailing Boston late. Boston has also scored 1,000 points in that game, I believe.
Well,
so that's where it's at. So overall,
it's
shaping up as a good night for the Hogs. A lot of teams have scored 1,000 points or more tonight. Time for FanDuel Revisit. Paolo Banchero.
I mean, just brush my shoulders off, Matt. I am winning right now. I'm getting some good
Did you get your
picks.
prize from the last game?
I'm still waiting on it. I'm still waiting on my prize. Paolo Banchero, I thought that the Hawks just did a really good job in slowing him down. Yes, Jalen Johnson started on him, but it took all 5 guys on the court to slow down Banchero. We know what type of elite scorer, elite player he was. I watched that possession right there, and I looked to the person to my right and said, what horrible effort from Banchero. He turns it over, just kind of jogs over to get it, and then turns it over again and doesn't even sprint back in transition defense. The Hawks just had him flustered all night long. It looked like Banchero was attacking, trying to get the contact, not necessarily attacking, trying to finish strong. And then when the refs stopped calling as many fouls in the first quarter, he wasn't able to finish as many shots. Don't take anything away from what Banchero can do offensively night in and night out. I think we have to give so much props to what the Hawks did defensively. You heard Quinn Snyder say that he thought Jalen and the rest of the team did a really good job in containing him, and I would have to agree.
Well, Bob said during the broadcast, Orlando feels like a broken basketball team right now, and you see some frustrations on the floor with the opponent, with each other, with the way things are going right now. They've lost 8 of their last 10. More Hawks Live on the other side from Central Florida before the Hawks get on a plane for Brooklyn. Back in downtown Orlando, not much for Magic fans to cheer about tonight or lately for that matter as we check the Xfinity upcoming schedule, which now includes all the remaining regular season games.
That's
just 5
wild.
left beginning Friday night in Brooklyn. Basically a day off for the team in New York City tomorrow. Then, speaking of New York, the Knicks come to town on Monday. That 2-game set with the Cavaliers could loom large in terms of the standings, and it's seeming less and less likely like Hawks and Heat will be battling for a position themselves because of the way things are going right now, but you never know. It's 5 games away.
It really is crazy to think that there's only 5 games left in the regular season.
Hard to believe. It feels like yesterday that we were here. When the Hawks beat the Magic the first time. That was October 24th.
Yeah. Speaking of the Hawks beating the Magic.
Yes.
So the Hawks just swept the Magic in the regular season. When was the last time Atlanta swept Orlando in the regular season?
I have no idea.
Mr. Stat Guy.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I don't claim know all stats.
I one-upped them.
Well, how long have you been sitting on this?
A long time. I was saving it for the post-game
Madison
show.
is very excited about this.
So I do my research. Let it be known. 2012, 2013.
2012.
Yep.
13 seasons ago.
Hey, I mean, that's awesome, especially with the way, we could joke around about it, but the way Orlando was playing throughout this season, they haven't been playing that well lately, but they were a really good team, a team to beat throughout the stretch of like really the middle of the season.
Yeah.
And so for Atlanta to be able to see them 4 times and sweep them,
hey, was that Mr. 9 points in 3 minutes? That was Caleb Houston walking by.
He was hot
I didn't
from 3.
mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. I got my stat in.
That was fun.
I one-upped you.
Good. Wow, is that what that was? I thought we were a team. I didn't think we were trying to one-up each other. I guess I was wrong. I'll be prepared for Friday night's show. Wow.
You're always bringing the stats, and I got you this time.
That's my job.
Matt.
I have stuff. I'm trying to educate the people. That's what I do.
Mood is good when you win by 29.
Hawks win large. We will see you for the pregame on Friday night from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Ouch. It got nasty, and it was a large win for the Hawks. From Madison, I'm Matt. We'll see you on Friday.